Greetings ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy Adrian here, welcome back to the channel. We have a new MMO discussion video today and we're exploring Asian MMORPG tropes. Some of you may ask, what are tropes? Think of it as recurring themes, and when it comes to Asian MMORPGs, there's definitely lots of recurring themes we see appearing within these MMOs, from systems and mechanics to aesthetics and more. I'll highlight a few of these prevalent ones, and then we can talk openly about which of these tropes do we like and which ones we don't like as much. As ever, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below, because that's what these discussion videos are all about. So, let's begin. I bet you folks knew I was going to lead with this. For the longest time I've been involved with the genre, Asian MMORPGs have always tended to go over the top with sexualizing their characters in-game, be it through highly realistic character models, skimpy outfits, cute little girls, half-naked men, and of course breast physics. These things are so common these days that we almost get surprised when we don't see them in an MMORPG from my part of the world. And the truth that we already know is sex sells. And this isn't just limited to Asian MMOs, as Western MMOs do this a lot as well. So why is it a thing, why does it exist, and why do we keep seeing it? As I've said, sex really does sell, and we can be mature about this and admit eye candy in a video game definitely helps attract a certain demographic, regardless of gameplay, story, and stuff. There have been numerous studies conducted that proves the psychological attachment to sexy virtual characters is a real thing. So fret not, most oftentimes it's not you, it's the developers baiting you in, because they can then probably sell cosmetic outfits like lingerie and things of that ilk to make revenue based on your attachments. A lot of us probably don't even realize this, as we consciously like a game because our friends are playing it or because the gameplay is actually fun, but in the subconscious space in your mind, your character is hot, and you won't mind spending some money in the cash shop to make him or her hotter while you're out and about in the world. So what do you guys think about this trope? Is it something you don't mind, or is it an MMO staple and the main reason why you play MMOs, or do you hate it completely? Let me know in the comments below, and remember, no attacking each other. Onward we go, and the next popular theme commonly found in these MMOs are grinding. Now, what defines the term grinding is relative to each player, so in layman terms, the grinding I mean is the gameplay repetition to level up and get to the end game, which involves killing thousands of in-game monsters for better XP gains over the conventional questing and story hub crawls that you often see in Western theme park MMOs. Grinding here also means spending a lot of time farming the gear and stats that you need in PvE for PvP, as traditionally games out of these regions tend to be PvP focused at the endgame. Thus, the prior grind is all about the mentality too, whereby anything worth having should take a long time and loads of effort to achieve so that PKing or player killing or guild territory wars would mean something. Is it a cultural thing? Not really, and being subjective here, I'm Asian myself and I hate grinding. I work 3 jobs a day. I'm a freelance writer, editor, and content creator here on YouTube and Twitch, and any game that requires me to grind like I need a 4th job usually gets a hard pass. But that doesn't mean grinding is bad or should be frowned upon, as there are many players out there that love this style of play. Grinding also tends to invoke a sense of community for players to grind together, as some games offer better bonuses for leveling up faster when grinding in a group. But in more recent times, developers have gotten smarter with their implementation of grinding in their games because of the rise in prominence of the in-game cash shop as a source of revenue. Today, majority, if not all, the Asian MMORPGs I've tried or have played have cash shops in them, just like their Western brethren. And I know from reading comments here on my channel that cash shops are usually a no-no for a lot of you folks. Unfortunately, in the times that we now live in, this is one trope that is shared globally and not just for Asian MMOs, although arguments can be made about how everything came to be. The more Asian games got exposed to the West and to the world, more people became exposed to the grind, and I suspect had not so nice things to say about it, which then opens up new opportunities for developers to monetize some form of bypass for these players, keeping in mind that in Asia, a lot of these MMORPGs are actually free to play. And now we have all manner of cash shop items in today's games, sexy outfits included. That mitigates and negates the heavy grind somewhat, all for the low price of how much can you afford, and if you can't, then grind. This is sort of the gray area when it comes to today's popular Korean or Chinese MMOs on whether or not the things in their shops are pay to win or pay to progress faster. That debate will go on forever, but the root cause I feel was and is to allow players who didn't want to grind a way to get around that problem. Moving on. Asian MMORPGs are pretty. they look good. The graphics are usually over the top, next gen, and definitely awesome for screenshots. And honestly, this is one recurring theme I actually don't mind if the rest of the game can match that style with substance. Too often I see an MMO with awesome graphics and character models only to be let down by the actual content the game has to offer. What's the point of having a large, beautiful world when most of it is empty? Or having excellent rendered cutscenes and voiceovers when the game's story is horrible and takes a backseat to PvP? That, my friends, is style over substance, and a quick browse in the free-to-play MMORPG section on Steam will show you a lot of games that fit that description. Big AAA titles that came out in recent years understands this concept, and the rest need to follow suit if they want a larger mainstream audience. And last but not least is the locking of classes based on gender. Asian MMOs tend to do this a lot, and up until recently I just couldn't figure out why. Popular games like Black Desert Online and Terra all do this, and based on what we've already talked about, the pattern I think is pretty similar for money and revenue, and everything we've talked about in point number 1 kind of applies. If they make a fun class and make it female only, the chances of cash shop costume sales could be pretty high for that female class. I'd assume the game assumes that you don't care about the gender you play as in general, as you control your character, not their identity. And the age-old argument is probably valid, being that if the core gameplay is hell a lot of fun, who cares about gender locks? But there are folks out there that prefer playing what they want over what they're forced to. If someone wants to roll a male Dark Knight on Black Desert Online or anything other than a female Ellen on Terra, they can't, and that's one Asian MMORPG trope that annoys a lot of people. And on a final note, this discussion doesn't imply that Asian games are bad in general for having these themes. They're just different, and it's all down to personal tastes and preferences. So, I've shared my thoughts, it's your turn to share. Let me know which Asian MMORPG tropes you don't mind or do mind in the comments section below. And if you think I've missed any, list them down as well. Hit the like button for more MMO content, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to the channel for more reviews, discussion videos, live streams, and all that good stuff. Once again, I'm Adrian, and I thank you for watching. Hey, welcome to the end screen. If you've made it this far, it means you've watched the entire video, and I thank you very much for that. If you want to watch more videos, you can click the cards at the bottom here, anyone would do. And you can subscribe to my channel by hitting the big round button here to get notifications on all my latest videos. See you guys in the next video.